Hi, Year 6, and welcome to your final English lesson of the week. This 3-day week we've done of English for our first week of home learning. Really impressed by how you've engaged with the learning this week, and I hope that you've enjoyed both the maths and the English and the topic theme work that we've set this week. In terms of your English this week, if you remember on day 1, we looked at that moody negative setting description of the winter setting that contrasts against that beautiful, lovely winter set description we did before Christmas, and we analysed the text, exploring it in terms of connections we can make to other books or stories, any predictions we were making, and how it made us feel. Yesterday, on Thursday, what you did was have a go at drafting out your moody winter setting, having a go at your one, and getting all that negative vocabulary and making the reader feel a bit uneasy, feeling a bit tense about this setting that the character's in, very cold and makes you shiver a little bit. And today is the really fun part for me, the best part of the writing journey, because it's finishing it and publishing it and producing that final piece. In terms of what you're doing today, what I've put on the screen there is the first thing you'll be doing is rereading through your work, and then the big part of publishing and improving it is doing that bit of editing beforehand. So we'll do a bit of proofreading, editing and improving, and then finally publishing. And I put 3 of the school values in there of it's a chance to be you in terms of being creative and presenting it how you want and doing it in a way that you like. It's about being aspirational and aiming for the very best in your very best handwriting, presenting it the best way you can. If you're doing any colouring and any decoration around the outside, just taking real care over it. And ultimately, if you're that aspirational, you try and achieve the very best, you will be proud of your work. And that's why I like this part of it so much, because you can produce that beautiful end piece, and that's why it's called publishing our writing, because it's finishing off, exhibiting it for the rest of the world to see. So to start off with, we'll do a little bit of proofreading, and what I've done as a little mini task for you is I had a go at doing a bit of live modelling yesterday of my version of a sort of the start to my version of a negative, moody winter setting. And in this piece here, if you look on screen, it's the version I've written, but it's got 10 basic mistakes in it. And by basic mistakes, I'm referring to things such as maybe spellings that I've not checked, or maybe there's some missing punctuation, such as capital letters or full stops or apostrophes, or maybe even a missing word. So have a read of the extract and see if you can spot those 10 mistakes. So pause the video now and have a go. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at that now. And what I'm going to do is show you where those mistakes are and see if you spotted them, as you read back through. So the first mistake is highlighted in yellow there. It's where it says, where am I? It should be a question mark, because that's a question it's saying, right, where am I? Question mark, and then obviously the next word needs a capital letter. So that's that there, and there it is there. And then it's repeated by, how did I get there? Well, that's another question. And again, the question's finished, the question mark's not put in, and the capital letter on what. So the first bit where I only had 1 question mark at the end, I should have had a question mark in each 3 parts there. Then it says, all around me is a carpet of pure white snow. The entire village is cloaked in snow, but I can't see anyone. And these are just some classic mistakes when we're writing. So missing the apostrophe on can't, and then misspelling on anyone. All I can see is the white around me. In front of me in the field is a forest of trees that look almost like ice sculptures. That's all okay. And then it goes, it appears as it has been snowing. And what it should have been, if you spotted it, it's missing the word if. And we do that a lot when we write, especially when we're drafting. We miss out words or don't quite remember. We think we've written it, but we haven't. And it's just carefully rereading it back. For months, maybe, I cannot see anything but the white that engulfs my, and there's a tricky spelling, surroundings. And if you spotted, it should be an INGS in the end, and also surroundings, the OU in the middle. And really, the advantage of home learning is if you can get onto Google and things, you say use a dictionary. Well, actually, Google's got a dictionary. It can help you with all these things. And thinking about your spelling patterns we practice in class, just taking that little bit of care and attention. But it's so cold. Well, there again, I don't know if you spot that one, but actually an apostrophe. It's a contracted word, but it is so cold is what that should be. So it's got an apostrophe. Freezing facts. The ground beneath my feet, my desperately cold feet, that's parenthesis, that's okay. The ground beneath my feet looks as if it's been suffocated by the snow. It can't breathe. I almost feel like I can't breathe either. We do this a lot. So we talk about capital letters, but it's the capital letter and the I in the middle there. That needs to be correct. It's too cold and the wind keeps whipping against my face. Spelling of against, okay? Growling at me, hissing at me, and the final mistake, I don't know if you spotted it, it was the capital T on trembling. So, well done if you got all of those. The idea was to make you have a think about when you're looking at writing. We think that we've drafted it out, we think that we've corrected all those mistakes, we think that we've gone through it. It's just taking that time to look for those basic errors, things like spellings, punctuation, missing words, and that comes back to that aspiration and being proud of your work. Okay, and that's that final version there. So the other part of our writing, so first bit I want you to do today, in fact it might be quite good for you today now, if you pause the video now, what I'd like you to do first of all is reread your work from yesterday and do that initial basic error proofread. So that's looking for, if I go back to this slide, that's looking for, if I get my highlighter, so then I want you to reread your work, and then I want you to have to look through for just basic errors, things such as spellings, missing punctuation, capital letters, full stops, apostrophes, and missing words and things like that. Okay, so pause the video now and just spend a few minutes rereading what you wrote yesterday and checking for those basic mistakes. Okay, hopefully you've checked through your work. I know when we do that a lot in class, and I ask you to have a look through and then ask for hands up who found some basic mistakes. We share back. Everyone comes up with lots and lots of things. So if you've done that honestly, you will have seen very quickly lots of mistakes that you may have made that you fix straight away by just rereading it again and just taking that little bit of care. Sometimes it does help to reread it aloud, and that's where you pick up those missing words and things. So the other part of like improving our writing is to do with editing. So what I'd like you to do today, eventually, we're going to publish our piece, which will be writing it all out in best. But what I don't want you to do is just rewrite exactly what you did in your draft. I'd like you to think about how you can improve it as you're going along, because I talk about this a lot in class, but like when J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter, it wasn't just her first attempt at Harry Potter that was her final piece. That was just her first attempt. And what you did yesterday was have a go at first attempt. So if I was rereading my one and looking for areas that I can improve, what I would do is just go through it sentence by sentence and think, am I happy with it? Am I happy with it in terms of the basic, in terms of the proofreading of it? But also, am I happy with it in terms of the impact it has on the reader? So it says, where am I? How did I get here? What is this place? All around me is a carpet of pure white snow. The entire village is cloaked in snow, but I can't see anyone. I like that bit. It works quite well. I've got the one-word sentence for effect. I like the verb cloaked. I'm quite happy at that bit. So you don't need to edit and improve everything, but this part, I like my opening line with the 3 questions. It's working quite well for me. Then I read the next line. All I can see is the white around me. I'm not so impressed with that line, actually. It's not had quite as big an impact as the first one. So I then think to myself, maybe I'll try and edit and improve this sentence. Now, in lessons, what we'd do is sometimes you'd write on one side of the page and edit across to the other side. And that's something you can have a go at doing if you've got it in your book. Or it could be just something that you improve into your final published piece. When you rewrite, you just change it as you go along. And what I'm going to do, because I'm on the computer, is I'm going to change it here. So I'm not going to write all I can see is the white around me. I'm going to go for a really powerful phrase now. So as far as the eye can see. So that's changing the sentence opening. So all I can see, as far as the eye can see, all that can be seen is white. Now, what I wrote originally was all I can see is the white around me. But I want to really up this now. Well, as far as the eye can see, all that can be seen is white. Okay, so that's a good start, but I'm going to add a little bit more to me. Pure white. Nothing but white. That repetition of 3 has really, really, really encapsulated this setting now, which has improved it massively. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. So there's a bit of improvement, and so there's editing to improve that part. So as far as I can see, all that can be seen is white, pure white, nothing but white. In fact, I'm going to add it a little bit more. It feels a little bit strange, dash, almost eerie. So I've given a few more clues to the reader already. So I've taken that one sentence, thinking a little bit more, changing it, adding a bit more in. My writing's improving straight away. So now I go to my next part. In front of me in the field is a forest of trees that look almost like ice sculptures. It appears as if it has been snowing for days, for months maybe. I cannot see anything but the white that engulfs my surroundings. Now, I've used the word white a lot already now because I did it in the earlier editing, so I'm going to change that word to snow. I don't want to keep repeating the same words. I'm quite happy with that part because I like the verb choice, engulfs my surroundings. I like those words, so I'm quite happy with that bit. But it's so cold, freezing in fact. Actually, I'm thinking to myself here, what I could do is add a bit more about how I feel so cold, but it's so cold, freezing in fact. Then I talk about my feet, the ground beneath my feet, my dashboard looks as, so I'm going to tell them, my toes feel as if they are screaming. The pain is unbearable. The ground is burning my feet. Okay, so I've just, instead of just leaving it as it's so cold, freeze, I've added more to that. I've talked about how cold it is on my feet. My toes feel as if they're screaming. The pain is unbearable. The ground is burning my feet. And suddenly, as a reader, I've made it much more as a writer, I've made it much more impactful on my reader. They can feel how not very nice this setting is. My first draft was an okay attempt, but I've made improvements here. Now I'm going to read again. So it says the ground beneath my feet. I don't think I need to say. I think I'm going to change this bit now because I changed the bit before. The ground beneath me looks as if it's been suffocated by snow. I think that sentence is fine. So you have to make adjustments as you go along based on what you've edited. It can't breathe. I almost feel like I can't breathe either. I might actually, what I'd like to do now is I put questions here. And I'm going to add something in. How on earth did I end up here? I'm going to make an addition based on what I put at the start. So I'm adding more bits in. It's too cold and the wind keeps whipping against my face, growling at me, hissing at me. I like that bit. Trembling, I begin to make my way forward, step by step. I add another bit of repetition in, bit by bit, inch by inch. I think that really improves me. However, I do not know where to go. Do not know where I am. Okay, so you could see how I went through my writing. I was thinking of ideas, and you can do this as you publish. You can improve as you go along, and I've made some improvements already. What might assist you with editing and improvement is looking at the success keys, because I've written these on the side here. Proofreading, capital letters, full stops, exclamation marks, question marks, spellings. And obviously my writing, when I publish it, it's got it neat, joined and accurate. So like in lessons, in school, we'd be ticking off our checklists. Those are the things we need to be thinking about. Have I used moody negative vocabulary? I have. I did some of that. And I've been trying to improve in that as I've been editing. Have I created a sense of tension and ease? Well, more when I edited it, I added in more of that. I haven't included speech. So when I look at my success keys now, I'm thinking there's an obvious way that I can improve my writing. However, I do not want to go. I do not know where I am. Please, I'm going to add some speech in now. Please. Can anyone hear me? I scream. There you go. So I've gone to my success keys and used them for an idea, including speech. There you go. I can put some speech in there to add a little bit more. Okay. No one. Nothing. Nobody can hear me. Okay, so I've improved it some even more. In terms of punctuation, semicolons, dashes, colons. I haven't used semicolons. I haven't used colons. They're not particularly needed for this sort of piece, but there is an opportunity to use them within it. In fact, here I do not know where to go. I do not know where I am. There's an obvious sentence where the two sentences link very nicely with a semicolon, so I've improved through the use of punctuation there. I have used dashes in my piece, or I did use dashes, but I actually took it out in that other one. I've got dash there. It feels a bit strange, almost eerie. So I have been using punctuation. In terms of greater depth, have I put careful thought into my vocabulary choices, and have they the desired intention? I wouldn't say I was doing that until I really went back through and edited again. And if I was rewriting this out again, I'd continue that to really push it and go for it all the time. Have I varied my sentence length for effect? I did bits of it on my first draft, but I added in more and more on that when I edited and improved. Have I used a range of advanced punctuation precisely? Well, no, I hadn't until I'd proofread it. And then when I went and looked at my success keys again, I've added in some more advanced punctuation as well. Is the quality of my writing sustained to a high standard throughout? Well, I haven't quite finished it yet, but at the minute, I do feel comfortable and confident that I'm doing the best I can, and that's what we need to aim for. As an extra stretch today, you can actually continue your story and carry on a bit longer. This is open-ended. The idea is to produce that sort of half-page piece of work, that setting description. I know some of you love your writing. Please feel free to carry your story on if you'd like to. Okay? So that's how you edit and improve. That's how you proofread. In terms of how I want you to set out your work today, I want you to be very creative in how you publish it. In class, the idea was what we were going to do is we were going to do it on the template version that we were going to print out that we had. I have put that onto Teams for you if you want to print it and download it. But it's if you want to use that, then you could do your writing onto there and it looked really nice. You'd be proud of it. If you haven't got a printer or you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. It might be, and this is where I want you to be creative, you might look at that picture there, that image, and think, do you know what, I'd quite like to have a go at just drawing that out as an idea and then doing my writing all around it. Alternatively, you could do something where you just get a piece of plain paper, and I've put some sort of images that relate to a winter setting and kind of a more angry winter setting with some like a cold looking people and some sort of the font there. And it might be that you want to sort of decorate your piece with some of that sort of imagery, either downloading, printing and cutting it out, or if you haven't got a printer, or if you're feeling a bit more creative, having a go at writing out in that sort of style on your piece, and again decorating your final version so it looks really imaginative. Or it could be, in terms of publishing, quite simply, it could just be rewriting your piece in your very, very best handwriting on the lines and just being really proud of that final version. Whatever you decide to do for that, I want you to be creative and do it in the way that you want to do it, but make sure you've been through and edited and improved as you've gone along. Okay, I hope that makes lots of sense to you. I hope you enjoy doing that. I really look forward to seeing your final versions, however they may look. And I'm sure, a bit like mine here, with a little bit of editing and little bit of making the odd change here and there, you can create this really effective final version. Okay, thanks guys. I hope you enjoyed the writing this week. I hope you enjoyed finishing that one off, and I will see you soon. Bye. And ultimately,